Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be going over some tips and tricks for Sword of Convallaria. I've been playing it a lot over the course of like the last week. Feel like I've gotten to like that capstone point where I can look back and I can say, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done this. So let's go ahead and dig in. Now, first off, my chat did want me to make sure to tell you guys, make sure you don't pull on the equipment summons. Sometimes it's a no-brainer, but I just want to get that out there. The next thing I want to talk about is character EXP and rank EXP. This is arguably the most important stat in the game. Specifically, how you get this is you use your energy in order to level up. For each energy that you spend, whether you're running specific events or you're running through the main story, it adds to your player rank, which adds to your current EXP, which levels up your character. When your player rank levels up, your levels level up. I think we all know this. Most people coming in here already know this. One of the things you might not know, though, is that one of the best sources of EXP is going to be from daily missions. It's also going to be from the Voyage Memento. And specifically here, what we're going to be talking about is the develop missions. You can see I'm on rank 7. What a lot of people don't realize is they look at these resource missions and they say, okay, gain extra rewards 3 times. That means I'm going to have to wait 3 days in order to clear these missions. That's actually not the case. If you actually look at the Voyage Memento rules here at the very bottom, there is a section that says when you complete all quests in development, all quests in the resource categories are also completed. Now, this is important because if you complete these development quests, you do not have to wait the 3-day limit in order to retrieve the items here. Now, this does take up some resources, but a lot of people, if you've been playing, if you've been using all of your energy, a lot of this is going to be naturally completed, and a lot of this will let you cruise up ranks higher. Now, you do also get some good rank EXP from all of this as well, so make sure you're checking this, make sure you're doing this every day, and make sure you're looking specifically at the development quests, because that will push you further just a little bit faster. Now, we have a lot of bottlenecks in this game, and we got a lot of tier lists that are floating around about what characters are best, where the bottlenecks are. From my experience right now, I can tell you currently the bottlenecks are going to be in equipment EXP material items. Almost everything else I have either capped out on, or we haven't fully unlocked, or most players haven't fully unlocked yet because we're not there yet. So what does character EXP look like, and how do you get that? Or sorry, what does weapon EXP look like? The best way for me to highlight weapon EXP and some things you should be doing weekly, Radiant Powder is what you really want. That's what you're going to be running out of when you're leveling up gear. While we're on this menu, I specifically wanted to show this menu. There's a lot of people who do point out that you can break down weapons. Do not break down weapons, because there are 2 different currencies here. You cannot get the random legendary gear. You can see I've broken down some of my weapons up here, and the only thing I can get is the random epic gear. There's no legendary gear. I can only buy radiant powder. It's not worth it to break down weapons that are 4-star potentially, that maybe you'll have max 5-star, right? While you probably shouldn't be investing in those and only investing in legendaries, still one of those things. Just don't break it down. Just don't just don't do it. The other thing, join a guild as quickly as possible. Make sure you're spending your reputation in order to get the radiant powder capped out here. We are on week 2 right now, so if you missed the weekly reset, you missed out on an opportunity to get a lot of radiant powder as well as a bond charm from last week. But try to get to that rank level, try to get into the idea of getting as much of this weekly as you can. Now, while we're talking about limited resources, let's talk about insignias as well. I do spend it on Radiant Powder here as well, because again, Radiant Powder is the thing that I've run into a lot as a wall. However, I arguably shouldn't have done that because, well, no, I should have done that. But the reality is, when we're looking at things like Tower, I should have focused on increasing my rank sooner, because the higher your floor rank, the better rewards you get. And so for me, when I was just starting out and I was doing Tower, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna clear the first floor, get all 5 of my rewards, you know, we'll get to floor 2, we'll get to floor 3, it'll be fine. I don't need to like cruise through this. But from my understanding, the floor level does affect your weekly rewards. At least that's the way it seems to me. I could be wrong on this, but it does seem like since I started out on a higher floor, I did get better rewards as opposed to floor 1. So you may want to make sure you are pushing tower as much as possible. This could be completely full of shit. I mean, again, I'm not an expert on this game. That's just what I've been observing and things that I've thought about as I've been playing the game. Now, you will also want to get all your extra rewards through here. This is going to be important. It's very important in terms of leveling up and maintaining your characters. All right, well, that was kind of a little sidetrack, but let's talk about character tier lists real quick, and then we'll talk about some PvP. Now, there's a lot of people out there who have kind of recommended characters, and there's a lot of different guides depending on which characters are going to be best, which ones are going to work for you, right? For me, when I was looking at the characters and I did pull, I basically pulled from what the general pool of what everybody said to pull, which was like Cole, Gloria first, and then make sure you get Beryl, and then Inanna. And I knew why Inanna was important, because she does have an ability that enables another unit to take another turn. But in terms of being a unit that I actively use a lot, she is not a unit I actively use a ton. I can see how effective and how powerful she can be in the future. I understand how OP it can be, especially in manual play, to give another character another turn. However, most of the time I just use Crimson Falcon. Like, Inanna, as great as she is, honestly, Crimson Falcon 99% of the time is going to be a better add to my party than Inanna. And had I known that initially when I had first started the game, I would not have used my selector for Inanna. I would have used it for another unit that I was interested in, or that had a different play style or a different build, right? Because right now, I just don't use her. She just sits on my roster. I had basically used my select ticket for nothing. Even when I go into PvP, I never use her. So make sure when you're going through the tier list, you are just making sure that the units are actually what you need, and that they are going to be units that are important to you, or that are going to be similar to your play style. While we're on the topic of units and building units, let's go ahead and also mention rank abilities and kind of having an understanding of how important different abilities are for different units. I have a variety of resources. If you go to the Reddit, if you go to waifus and loot, there's whole bunches of different web pages that are dedicated to what build is appropriate. But I'm going to use Beryl as an example here. When I first got Beryl and I looked at these abilities, for whatever reason, I thought Casual Search was a better ability for her than Wall of Flame. It obviously wasn't, and I ended up getting Casual Search, and I ended up having to use one of the Castalias to unlock the additional skill for her. It was not the right choice. Had I taken a moment and done some research, had I taken a moment to go and see what's optimal, what people are doing, what are the make sure you get abilities, I would have been able to avoid a lot of pain. And that has only been the case with Beryl. I will admittedly say I messed up on that. But other than that, following the guides and doing just that little bit of research, whether it's on waifus and loot, whether it's going to Reddit and getting the one-page breakdowns from, oh man, I don't know their name, like Cecilind or something. Y'all know the ones I'm talking about. I'm sure they're on all the YouTube videos. Like when I was looking at character reviews, I was literally like, man, I would use this in a video. You know what I mean? But make sure that you're building your characters properly, because that is also going to be very important. Now, I don't have a ton of other things in terms of tips for the game, because I think genuinely when you're trying to play, you will learn all of that. I do just want to talk about my defenses for my PvP, just because I found these to be very effective, and I've seen them be very effective when I've fought other people. Specifically, I am saving up to build Fortress level 3. I think that is important, but outside of that, I'm also focusing on the burst towers, and you'll notice I have the burst tower positions right here with traps accessing them, and I have each one guarded by Cole and by Crimson Falcon, right? These burst towers, this positioning, if you put them up here, they can be targeted relatively easy. If you put them back here like this, it makes them very effective, because they can target the bridge, they can target enemy units, and it's not very easy to hit them from this space. And with the height difference right here, units can't always move and jump and then hop down to hit this. So you just get a situation where you are very good in terms of hitting opponents, but also dealing a lot of damage, because these area of effect abilities basically light up the entire bridge when enemies try and cross. And oh man, it's nice to see them just get blasted. Or in my case, when I was fighting other people, myself getting blasted by these things. So in terms of all of the towers I've seen, these seem to be the most effective. I'm sure other people have other effective strategies, but for right now that I'm like focusing and building on saving resources for the fortress, and I haven't maxed out any of these towers, this has been a very effective starting strategy for me. And I've seen it used by other people. I'm sure there's many people out there who are way more focused on PvP than I am, but holy cow, it's really effective. I would highly recommend going and doing that for your team. All right, guys, that's about everything that I have right now. There's a lot going on with this game, so if you do want like a community to talk with things about, come join my Discord. I'm not a professional gamer anymore. dig.gs/discord. Just come hang out with us, talk about Sword of Convallaria. We'll probably be doing more videos with specific unit highlights once I have a better understanding, or maybe I'll want to try and figure out different units that I have. So I look forward to hearing you guys, seeing you in my Discord, and I will catch you guys all next time.